that's only going to ramp up as we head towards 2012. We're talking about immigration, and a proposed Texas House bill would create tough state punishments to those who knowingly hire unauthorized immigrants. Violators would face up to 2 years in jail and a fine of up to $10,000. But it's an exception in the bill that is drawing the real attention here. Apparently, you would not be in violation of this law if you are hiring a maid, a lawn caretaker, or another house worker. Republican Texas State Representative Pena is in favor of the exception, and he joins me now live from Austin. Representative, thanks for joining me here today. What are you looking to accomplish with this bill?
Well, this is a bill filed by Representative Debbie Riddle, and it is in response to the frustration felt by many of her constituents and many citizens across Texas to try to get a grip on the immigration issue because the federal government has not done their job. Bottom line here is that the federal government needs to take control of this issue and deal with it comprehensively, because otherwise you're going to see states like Texas trying to respond in their own way.
So if you want to take control of the issue, then why an exception?
Well, I think what it is Representative Riddle has filed this exception because of the realities of Texas and, quite frankly, the realities of most people who live along the border. In this situation, the bill proposes that if you hire a yard worker or somebody who works in your house, the so-called laundry loophole, that you will be exempted from being considered a felon. In talking with Representative Riddle, her intention is basically to go after employers who hire illegal workers.
Okay, employers, like when you say that, because you said you're looking for big business. So employers like who? What kind of employer?
Well, I can't speak for Representative Riddle, but my sense is that what she's trying to do is to go after large employers and not necessarily your average citizen who somebody comes to their yard and says, hey, can I mow your yard for 10 or 20 bucks? Yeah, sure, go ahead. We don't want to have somebody thrown in prison when we already have a crowded prison system simply because they hired somebody and didn't knowingly know that they were a citizen or not.
So if you're going after big businesses, wouldn't you be going after construction, manufacturers, people who do farming, who do gardening? And if you don't want this to be a blow to the economy, then why go after those big businesses? Because by hiring the people who do the lawns and who, do laundry, that's really not going to help the economy much.
Well, listen, I agree that certainly along the border we have commerce going back and forth. We have labor demands, and some of that is addressed by Mexican citizens. Bottom line is the federal government needs to come up with a worker program where these citizens can come across and do the work and then go back home. If we have a labor shortage here and they've got extra labor to provide, we need to do that. Bottom line is this is a federal issue. It recognizes the realities of Texas.
Yeah, isn't that an incentive though, even if you had that exception for lawn care workers, for maids, doesn't that make people want to immigrate into Texas?
Well, that argument can be made, and from my perspective, that's probably true. But this is something that's proposed by Representative Riddle because, quite frankly, at least where I live along the border, you'd put maybe half the population in prison and have them committed as felons when they simply hired somebody who was looking for work.
Yeah. So listen, you guys meet every 2 years, correct?
We do.
Okay, so if you don't do it now, you said you're not sure it's going to pass, then what happens in the meantime?
Well, we already have a federal law that addresses this issue. I think Representative Riddle filed the bill because her constituents have come to her frustrated with the federal government not simply doing their job. And so she's looking for a Texas response. I'm not necessarily in support of the bill, although in responding to the laundry loophole, I said, well, look, at least that recognizes the reality of the circumstances on the ground for most citizens living on the border. We have many citizens from Mexico working here, and although that may be an incentive, that's the reality of the circumstance.
All right. Representative Pena, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So what do you think?